DOMS podcast, the platform where inspiration meets insight, the gateway to uncovering stories of extraordinary journeys and game changing perspectives. This platform celebrates the leaders, innovators, and change makers from IIT Roorkee's Department of Management Studies. I'm Sahana, your host for today, and it's my privilege to introduce our esteemed guest, Vasudha Gupta Sharma. An accomplished alumnus of DOMS IIT Roorkee, Vasudha's career spans over decades of transformative leadership in sustainability and women's empowerment. As the co-founder of Vavita, she has been the forefront of driving sustainable business practices while championing inclusivity and innovation. Her journey begins from IIT Roorkee's classrooms during her MBA program to becoming a trailblazer in her field, exemplifies resilience and visionary leadership. Vasudha, we are honored to have you with us today to share your inspiring story and valuable insights.
Thank you so much, Sahana. It's a pleasure being at this platform. I am humbled to be an alumna of IIT Roorkee, and it's a great opportunity to connect with the ecosystem.
Thank you, ma'am. How has your journey evolved as a corporate leader since your time at IIT Roorkee, ma'am?
Honestly, Sahana, I truly believe the direction one's life takes is a function of the opportunities one is blessed with, but also certain key decision one takes. For me, the journey started with my mother encouraging me to pivot from economics, my chosen field, towards engineering. And having an engineering degree enabled me to pursue an MBA from IIT Roorkee. After MBA, I started my stint with what was then the largest Indian infrastructure consultancy firm. A lot of my batchmates and colleagues were jumping ship and changing jobs every 2 years. However, I was in this mammoth organization, where I had the opportunity to work across sectors, right from transportation to energy to real estate, smart cities, airports, etc., and as well as services, starting from infrastructure advisory towards project management, towards business development for design projects and strategy, etc. So I was growing rapidly, both horizontally and vertically, in terms of services and sectors. And so I ended up spending 13 years at my first job. But after 13 years, I kind of, got comfortable with the skills I had built, and I wanted to step out of my comfort zone. So my partner in life became my partner in crime, and my husband and I, we started Verveta Projects, our boutique infrastructure consultancy firm, in 2017. Leveraging the power of network, a lot of it we learned at IIT Roorkee. We hit the ground running, and within 2 months, we were doing multiple projects with a Japanese consulting firm. We were part of the marquee Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail project, and we were in conversation with several government departments for empanelment. For the last 7 years, we've been working with both public and private clients, across the infrastructure sector. Again, after 7 years, there was a bit of an itch, and we wanted to follow our passion for the field of sustainability. And so we pivoted to add another service line to our repertoire, to the one that deals with sustainability and climate change.
That's really inspiring to hear, ma'am. So at DOMS IIT Roorkee, there's a strong emphasis on holistic growth and innovative thinking. From your experience, what aspects of MBA program helped you in excelling in addressing sustainability and business challenges? And were there any mentors who left a profound impact on your leadership style?
Fabulous question, because a lot of who I am from a business perspective, but also from a personal perspective, I owe it to my time at IIT Roorkee. For sure, my MBA at DOMS IIT Roorkee was instrumental in equipping me with analytical and problem-solving skills. But if I were to highlight a few skills that have been invaluable in navigating the corporate world, one would be systems thinking, understanding the interconnectedness of various factors within a business ecosystem has been crucial to develop sustainable solutions. One really needs to take a holistic approach while assessing projects or partnerships. The second would be strategy management that we have studied as a course at DOMS, because it helps us to understand the long-term vision And this has been particularly relevant for infrastructure and sustainability sectors because projects here often tend to have a long term implication. And thirdly, I would say, kind of the most basic of it is leadership and teamwork. The emphasis on teamwork and leadership has been crucial in fostering collaboration and driving sustainable initiatives within the organizations. Whether it is managing bosses or peers or subordinates or partners, I think it is important to have a collaborative mindset and strive for win win scenarios. I think I would also like to particularly appreciate the opportunity that we had at DOMS to interact with industry experts and learn from their experiences. That certainly helped broaden our understanding of the challenges and opportunities in the real world. So, for sure, the time at DOMS IT Roorkee definitely provided me with a strong foundation in business principles. And if I were to talk about mentors, I think we were such a small network and such a small universe within DOMS. Of course, IT Roorkee being a larger campus, but within that DOMS was a close knit family. If I had to specifically call out a couple of mentors, I would have to say, Professor V.K. Nangia, who was then HOD, but also professor for a couple of subjects for us. I think he drilled in us the sense of, resilience and problem solving, to take on any challenge and kind of be resourceful enough to figure a solution out. I think that kind of an attitude has been very useful in navigating corporate world for me. Another mentor I would like to name is Zilur Rahman sir, who was a professor of marketing for us, or he was also my guide for the final SEM project. It is a very stressful environment, the MBA course, with the tight deadlines and being away from home. So the faculty ends up being your parent and your guide, and that's what Zilur sir kind of was to us. And there's a Japanese philosophy of wabi sabi that talks about accepting the imperfections and kind of working
Yes,
with what you have. So I think I would say that Zulur sir kind of guided us to embrace embrace what is available and to do our best with what we have. So yeah, that
yes,
would be the key takeaways. Yes.
yes. I still remember the day Vinay Nanga sir came to our campus again, and he gave a guest lecture, and it was truly inspiring and like motivating to still the MBA students are still being motivated by him even after his retirement. He's really inspiring person, and all of our professors and teachers are they're really a strength pillar to all of the students over here, ma'am.
Absolutely.
So, while government and other social initiatives have done a lot these days to empower women, and many women have also struggled and they have come up uh, to prove themselves, and through the corporate ladder. The road wasn't this easy before. So, as a champion of women's empowerment, could you share some of the initiatives you have been involved in to support uplifting women in this space?
And absolutely. So, since the past few years, I have been associated with a non-profit organization that has been working in the space of entrepreneurship skill development among women. It's called Mera Biznet. It's a digital platform that offers training, mentorship, and hand-holding to aspiring and existing women entrepreneurs. We also have a special offering for green entrepreneurs who are focused on developing and scaling climate based innovative solutions and products. It is a known fact that women entrepreneurs often face unique challenges, and not just in India. This is a global fact.
Yes.
Challenges, whether they may be access to capital, limited networks, or societal biases. So these challenges not only hinder their growth, but they also limit the potential for innovation and sustainable development. I strive to work. I mean, it's a long journey. I'm just taking baby steps, but it is my belief that the success of women entrepreneurship is not really just about individual empowerment, but also about creating a just and equitable society. And again, I think my philosophy for this, or my journey towards championing women entrepreneurship, is intertwined with my experience at IIT Roorkee. The MBA program, while focused on traditional business principles, it also instilled in me a strong sense of social responsibility and a belief in the power of inclusive growth. I truly believe that by providing women entrepreneurs with the necessary resource, support, and mentorship, we can drive positive change in the world.
Yes, truly, man, truly. So, continuing with the same topic, we have a special initiative here at IIT Roorkee DOMS, the Golden Girl Scheme, to increase women's participation in the MBA program and beyond. The scheme offers direct admission to DOMS at IIT Roorkee for female first rank holders, that is, gold medalists, from IITs or universities ranked within the top 50 in the NRF rank list. So, these exceptional individuals are granted the unique opportunity to bypass the typical All India level exam, that is CAT for MBA. So, what impact, in your views, can such initiatives have in our college, or in the corporate world?
I think the Golden Girl scheme at IIT Roorkee is a commendable initiative. Firstly, increasing female representation in MBA program like ours contributes to a more inclusive and enriching learning environment for everyone involved, right? And diverse perspectives and experiences, they bring a wealth of knowledge and insights to classroom discussions. And secondly, by empowering women with advanced business education, these initiatives directly contribute to increasing female leadership in various sectors, including critical infrastructure and sustainability domains. Women leaders have they often bring unique perspectives and skill sets that are essential for addressing the complex challenges facing our world today. I truly believe the Golden Girl scheme serves as a powerful symbol of inclusivity, and it sends a strong message that IIT Roorkee values and supports the
Yes.
advancement of women in leadership roles. This will definitely create a positive ripple effect, and it will for sure inspire young women to pursue their academic and professional aspirations with confidence.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So to have a more spice to our conversation, to have more joyfulness in our conversation, let's play a small rapid fire round. Are you
Sure.
ready, ma'am?
Yeah, born ready.
So, can you summarize your life philosophy in a single sentence that inspires others?
Ooh. Um, okay. I would have to say embrace the unknown, uh, pursue your passions, and use your skills and knowledge to create a positive impact on the world.
Wow, great. What's the boldest decision you have made in your career, and how did it change your trajectory?
That's a simple one. The boldest decision I have made is undoubtedly leaving the security of a well-established career to embark on this entrepreneurial journey. I have to say, the fear of failure is daunting, but true fulfillment comes from pursuing our passion and making a tangible difference. And for
Yes.
sure, this decision has completely changed my trajectory. It has pushed me to step outside of my comfort zone, to develop new skills, and to learn, to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship. It has also forced me to become a more resilient and resourceful individual. For sure, it has been a challenging journey, but it has also been incredibly rewarding. I'm learning and growing every day, and I'm excited to see where this adventure takes me next.
That's great, ma'am. What's one myth about leadership or sustainability you would like to debunk today?
Yeah, this is also some topic that is close to my heart. I believe one of the biggest myths of about leadership is that people think that leadership is all about having the answers and dictating the path forward. In my experience, effective leadership is much more about empowering others and fostering collaboration. Especially from experience, as we dived into the space of sustainability, we quickly realized that we couldn't do it alone.
Yeah.
Sustainability challenges are complex and they require diverse perspectives and expertise. So I can't have all that knowledge and skills within, one or two people. So we focused on building an ecosystem of colleagues and partners with complementary skills. We created a culture of open communication and shared decisions, making and actively seeking input and feedback from stakeholders. So I truly believe true leadership means recognizing that we don't have all the answers, embracing collective intelligence, and empowering others to contribute their unique talents and insights. It's about creating a shared vision and working together to achieve a common goal, a more sustainable future.
Yes, ma'am. Like our professors have taught us, and they always say, like, every drop counts in the ocean, every person is important in the company. Yes,
Absolutely right.
that's great to hear, ma'am. So, continuing with our conversation, uh, sustainability is no longer an option, it's now a business imperative. So, why do you think the shift has become inevitable these days?
So, Sana, at its core, sustainability is really about, the textbook definition is, sustainability is about meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their needs. Right now, in my opinion, there are several compelling reasons why sustainability is no longer just a choice. Firstly, the climate crisis is undeniable. We are witnessing its effects firsthand, whether it is extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and dwindling resources. Now, ignoring this reality is no longer an option. Businesses, governments, and individuals, they all have a role to play in mitigating
Yes,
climate change and adapting to its impacts. Secondly, consumer expectations are evolving. Today's consumers are increasingly conscious of environmental and social issues. They are more likely to support businesses that demonstrate a commitment to sustainability. Now, this translates into a competitive edge for businesses that prioritize sustainability. And thirdly, resource constraints are becoming more acute. Many natural resources are finite and depleting rapidly. A sustainable approach to resource management is essential for ensuring long term economic and social well being.
yeah, that's really true, and we have been hearing so many news. So it's not a panic mode, but it's better to take a step ahead and think ahead. Yes, ma'am. So
Absolutely right.
how can leaders like yourself effectively drive change at the intersection of business and sustainability?
So I believe leaders have to lead by example. We have to set clear sustainability goals for ourselves and the organizations that we are part of, and we have to demonstrate a commitment to achieving them. That's number one. Secondly, like I said earlier, it's no one person can do this. It takes a village, right? So we have to engage with all the stakeholders. Leaders have to collaborate with their employees, their customers, their suppliers, and the community to promote sustainability. Thirdly, a challenge that I'm facing is that sustainability is not a standalone aspect of business. You can't hand it over to the environmental department or to the CSR department.
Yeah,
Sustainability needs to be integrated into the business strategy. It has to be
yes,
made a core part of the decision making process, right
yes,
from product development to supply chain management. That's an important
yeah,
shift we need leaders to take. And lastly, I would say investing in innovation. We really are in dire needs for innovative ideas for sustainable technologies and solutions. So leaders should invest in and support R&D in these sustainable solutions.
yes, ma'am. So, if you were to predict one small game-changing innovation in sustainability, what would you think it would be?
um, the innovation is really driven by the need of the market, and what I see as one of the trends that is coming up that is going to have a profound impact on the way we do business and all aspects of business is the whole concept of circular economy. Right, the world is moving away from the traditional linear take, make, dispose model, and we're moving towards circular economy. So there will be a lot more impetus on prioritizing resource efficiency, waste reduction, product reuse, remanufacturing. So whether it is application of digitalization or AI, whether it is talking about decarbonization, whether it is stepping up on use of renewable energy, whether
Yes.
it is about becoming attractive to climate finance and ESG investors.
Yeah.
I think these will all drive the trend towards sustainability shift for organization. I honestly, it's not a trend, it's a fundamental shift in how we do business and live our lives.
Yes, ma'am. So you have navigated so many changes, broken so many barriers, and made a lasting impact. So, what's one piece of advice you'd like to share with the young professionals and MBA aspirants, particularly those who are considering IIT Roorkee as their launchpad for success?
Um, okay, so if you are considering an MBA at IIT Roorkee, I encourage you to embrace the journey with an open mind and a thirst for knowledge. It's more than academics. It's really about personal growth. Remember that real learning happens outside the classroom. Engage in the vibrant campus life, whether it is participating and managing THOMSO or Cognizant. Participate in the numerous clubs and societies we have at IIT Roorkee. Network with your peers and your faculty, and essentially seize every opportunity to step outside your comfort zone. I believe the MBA is a platform for self discovery. So use this time to explore your interests, identify your passions, and build strong relationships. These connections, and this is based on personal experience, these connections are
Yeah.
invaluable throughout our career. IIT
Yes.
Roorkee, provides provided us with and will provide you with the tools and the environment to develop these skills. But it's very important that you embrace the journey, learn and grow, and make the most of this incredible opportunity.
That's really valuable words, ma'am. So, by this, we will end this podcast now. So, thank you, Vasudha ma'am, for sharing your inspiring journey and perspectives. Your story truly highlights the impact of purpose-driven leadership. To our listeners, if Vasudha's journey has inspired you, don't forget to share this episode and let the impact ripple out. So, this is just the beginning of many extraordinary stories from Dom's podcast. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and remember, the future is what we make of it. See you next time. Thank you.